Okay, are we live? It says we're live. We gotta talk. Okay, so I just got news from Bleacher Report that within minutes, so Stephanie McMahon just resigned her position as co-CEO of WWE just about a half hour ago. Vince McMahon, by the board of directors, has set Vince McMahon back as executive chairman. Um, I don't know. So I don't know really what this implies for Vince McMahon. I don't really know much about the in and outs of the business side of things as far as sales go and things like that. I rely on other people to provide that information for me. So if you want sources that I trust to listen out for, um, I would watch for Figure Four Online, FD FW4 Online on their YouTube channel. That's with Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. Um, I would also keep a lookout for Solid Monster Sounds Off, as you know that he's going to talk about this either tonight or Wednesday. So if you want my suggestions of people to look out for, those are the two guys who I really look at for information. Um, what does this mean, though? Now, I don't mean to be a conspiracy nut, um, but like we just got word two 2 or 3 days ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2 or 3 days ago, that Vince McMahon was put back in as in the board of directors. And then to come find out that today that Stephanie McMahon has just left. Things are not going well with WWE. Um, and I've seen a lot of people actually give Raw some negative reviews. Um, and I think that's just because I don't know if Triple H was running the show. I mean, I assume that it's still Triple H's regime right now, but I mean, he's got to be stressed out, which is not good for the man. And Stephanie just left her position right now, leaving Nick Khan as the CEO of WWE, the sole CEO right now. But I don't know. I don't understand the whole business side of things, So if you're looking for me to really tell you what this all means, you've kind of come to the wrong place. This is just my thoughts as to what is happening with WWE and what's coming next. I mean, I can't tell you what's coming next. Um, there's been talk of WWE, making a sale, but at the same time, I think that was probably just like, as some of you probably know, probably just a ploy by Vince McMahon to get back into charge, of WWE. And if you think that it's only going to stop here, like this is all happening faster than we thought. Like we pretty much figured that Vince McMahon was going to come back in charge, you know, when we heard about it, this weekend where we heard that Vince McMahon was brought back into the board of directors. Now, come this week, Stephanie's gone. Vince is in a higher position right now as what the fuck do they call it? They call it executive chairman. So, and but that's always been Vince's title, hasn't it? As the chairman of WWE, that's always been Vince's title, pretty much. Correct me if I'm wrong, but man, it's just this is all happening so fast, And I wasn't planning on talking about this at all, just because I don't cover wrestling news really because it's not my place. I don't really read into too much of wrestling news. Um, for a few reasons, but there are things out there that I don't really investigate, so I don't really understand about ratings and viewerships. Or I understand viewerships, but I don't really understand the whole demographic and stuff like that when it comes to the wrestling side of talking about news like that. So I leave that to other people to talk about because I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to that shit. But this is just for me to give my own thoughts as to what the hell's going on with WWE. Like, this is crazy. Like, we never thought we'd see Vince McMahon step down from WWE until, it was his last dying breath. As John Moxley said, that he's like, the man will die in the chair. Well, that might just happen because Vince McMahon is getting his power back much quicker than any of us could have perceived. Keep in mind that, I mean, yes, it takes two to tango in the working relationship that Stephanie had with Nick Khan, but you know that Stephanie is probably the one who was just overseeing the on screen stuff and pretty much gave Triple H that power. Nick Khan pretty much probably just handles like all of like the sales and the money and things of that nature. Again, if you're coming here for advanced details on stuff like that, you've kind of come to the wrong channel. This is just me giving my thoughts on the situation and try to break it down in the best way that I can and to give my own input as to where I think that this is all leading to. But I think you can already guess the outcome of what's happening. So Stephanie being gone, where does that leave Triple H? Will Vince keep Triple H in charge? Like, how much power does Vince McMahon have? That is going to be the question that I will have to look into when Brian and Dave go live to talk about this story here. I'm going to be paying very close attention to it. But this is just my early thoughts. I haven't really read anything. I just wanted to go live right now just to give you my natural reaction. But man, it's unbelievable, guys, to think about what has happened. 2022, Vince steps down, and then 2023, Vince is stepping back up, and not in the way that it's supposed to be. And you know that the roster, they were probably scared and worried backstage over the weekend. They're like, okay, the company is telling us that, everything's just fine. It's all according to plan, blah, blah, blah. Nothing to see here, nothing to worry about. Turns out there is something to worry about because, again, Stephanie just stepped down. Vince has gained more power. The talent has got to be feeling, okay, wait a second. Stephanie is the one who granted, okay, I don't have this for sure, but I mean, come on. Stephanie is probably the one who gave her husband, Triple H, the power of creative control, back there. Stephanie's not there. The power's been taken away from Stephanie. Vince McMahon is probably the last person who, is going to run that company. Nick Khan, again, I don't think Nick Khan is really someone who knows much about the business. I think he just knows about the wrestling business. And I don't think he cares to know. I think he's just there, like, as we've all known, Nick Khan is basically just to be there to prepare WWE for selling and getting them prepped for whatever they need to do. And the power duo of Vince McMahon and Nick Khan is back. Where does that leave Triple H? Things are spiraling out of control, and you know what that means when that happens. Firings could potentially be coming. People who Triple H brought back, Vince McMahon could say, you know what? These guys, they didn't do anything for me beforehand. What the hell would I do with them now? Get the hell out of here. And you know that some of those wrestlers have got to be thinking about that. They're already starting to make their game plans. They're thinking about who they should contact, who they can be looking forward to working, or not looking forward to, but who they should be asking to work for. You know that some of those guys who were let go by Vince McMahon are probably contacting their friends over in AEW, hell, or even in Impact Wrestling, that they're probably contacting some of their friends to be like, could you guys put in a word for me? It's like, I'm trying to get myself prepared here for when I get, released again. You know that some of those wrestlers are thinking about that. And it's not just the wrestlers, it's the staff members in the back who, have probably enjoyed working for Triple H with the creative, where they don't have to worry about their stuff getting ripped up week after week and just getting rewritten by Vince McMahon. Look, nothing has been confirmed as far as I've gone recording. Let me check my phone. Nothing has been confirmed as of Triple H being released or stepping down as the head of creative, but that that's probably what's going to happen. And at the speed of Vince McMahon taking charge like he is right now. So when you think about it, the creative process, it's an important process. It's an important position to have in the company. Yes. But when if I'm picturing it right now, I would think that Stephanie's role was the most important place as a business side of things for her to have been in, and for her to have stepped down and Vince McMahon to have gained more control, more power. I think for a business side of things, creative control is the least amount of worries for a company. But for us wrestling fans, it's for Vince McMahon to more than likely take control of creative again. It's not going to be good. Like, I'll admit, there have been things that Triple H has done that I have not, approved of, but I cannot say that the shows have been bad or that they have been, I can't say the shows have been bad. They've been just fine. Is Monday Night Raw my favorite show of the week? Absolutely not. Some people were complaining about Raw, yesterday. For me, I thought it was okay. Nothing really too exciting, but it was fine. But it's just things are about to change in WWE, and it's going to change at a fast rate. And I don't think that we're going to be hit with a lot of wrestling news, with this whole move that just happened. Again, Stephanie gone, Triple H taking charge, or not Triple H, excuse me, Vince McMahon. Everyone would love if Triple H was taking Stephanie's place there, but no, Vince McMahon back in there. The next move has got to be for Vince to get into creative. And if Vince McMahon's not head of creative, that he would put Bruce Pritchard in charge of creative. Vince has his guys that he can trust to take care of things for him because they know what Vince McMahon likes. Most of Vince's guys are still working behind the scenes there. God, who's that? Who's that one guy who does the freaking Kevin Dunn? I think that's his name. Kevin Dunn, to my knowledge, is still working there. Kevin Dunn is a Vince McMahon guy. Bruce Pritchard, Vince McMahon guy. So some of the most, most important key roles of people who are working for the company are still Vince McMahon guys. They know what Vince likes. They know what he wants written. So it's just, right now it's just Stephanie, stepping down, and Vince, back on the board of directors as chairman. I don't know if he ever left as chairman, but it's Vince McMahon and Nick Khan in charge there, and Triple H is still head of creative for the moment, but that's going to change. And is Triple H just going to go back to running NXT? I don't know. Honestly, where does this all leave Triple H? It's a very, very scary situation. And that I feel bad for the wrestlers that Triple H just rehired and they came back. And now that, Vince is just there, that they're going to be thinking about, man, this is the guy that fired me. This is the guy that's going to get rid of me potentially. So they have got to be, already making their game plan of of not getting out, because they still want to trust the process of Triple H. But can you trust WWE? You can put your faith in Triple H as much as you want as to, being the head of creative, but how long do you think Triple H will still have that position? This is a big deal. And like, you've got to be paying close attention. And you just know that usually when people who probably may have tuned away from I'm not gonna make this about AEW. This isn't a time for joking. But this is a big deal, guys. Like, obviously I know that you guys know this is a big deal, but man, the fact that that this is going on, this is not what I was expecting when I came home tonight. This is and this is all just happening at such a fast pace here. Like, we were expecting Vince to start gaining more power maybe within months. But no. Like I think maybe within at the most 3 months. I don't know if Triple H is going to be able to book his own WrestleMania like some people have wanted. I think I don't think that's going to happen. I think that I'd like to see it happen, but I don't think Triple H he'll either get his WrestleMania of booking it, but after that, I don't think so. I don't think Triple H is going to be, being the head of creative for much longer, because it's Vince's company and he's going to make the executive decisions that he wants. And Nick Khan pretty much just went with everything Vince, said, or Nick Khan was the advisor, however it worked out during the pandemic era of wrestling. Keep a lookout, because I think we're going to see a lot of changes, and not in a good way. I think we're going to see changes maybe back to the ways of old, or changes that we didn't think we would see. And I don't know if they're going to be good or not. Maybe Vince will surprise us, and Vince will he'll just say, "Why don't you just run things, Paul, and I'll just take care of, being the face of WWE." Oh shit, ain't that funny? That's not going to happen. You know that Vince is going to want to get his hands back on everything. He wants his WWE run his way. That is all I've got to say about the situation, guys. I don't want to ramble on, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. So, yeah, pay close attention. Again, we don't really cover wrestling news on here because I'm not smart enough to cover all the big topics that they talk about and whatnot. I don't do a lot of my research on this shit. So, lost my train of thought. Sorry, I had a work text just there. Yeah, don't expect me to do videos like this all the time. This was just, I felt like, you know what, I have to say something, and I'm going to say it. So, thanks guys for listening in. If you want to hit the like button down below, feel free to go for that one. Just don't hit a thumbs down, please. You don't have to hit the thumbs up, because we're not happy that Vince McMahon is coming back. But if you want to hit the subscribe button, go for that one. If you want to leave a comment down below about how you feel about Vince McMahon, more than likely going to get back in the creative role of things, you can go ahead and throw up emoji or whatever. I respond back to everyone pretty much in the comments. And as always, you can hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when I go live for any videos whatsoever. thanks guys for tuning in, and try to have a great rest of the night. And I guess enjoy the Triple H era while we still have it, because Vince McMahon is coming back. Ha ha ha. Yuck.